Hi, I'm Neil Kopitsky. I'm a racing cyclist and injury attorney here in Georgia. This video is going to be a little bit about safety, but from a different perspective than you're used to probably hearing. You know, we all know that we should always wear helmets, we should always follow the rules of the road, and always take due care when we're riding. But we've heard a lot about cases, especially that one out in California with a doctor that actually assaulted the cyclist, that essentially stemmed from road rage. And many of us have had those kind of altercations when we've been out riding with motorists. And one thing that's important to remember about these instances is that they're never going to end well for us as cyclists. They're surrounded by steel, we're surrounded by Lycra, they're probably going to win. So what's really important when we're in these situations is to de-escalate the hostility, not escalate the hostility. Because recently in Velo News, Bob Miansky, former Olympian and also an attorney, was talking about a dozen different instances of road rage. And in each one, the motorist had done something that was dangerous to the cyclist, or at least made the cyclist feel threatened. And of course, hostility is almost always a byproduct of fear. So confronted with that dangerous situation, that's exactly how the cyclists responded. With hostility, they yelled, they gave the finger, and from there the motorists responded in kind, and the situation escalated. In some cases there were violence, in other cases there were arrests. It's always going to be hazardous. The way to avoid escalating that kind of situation is to understand how the motorist sees us as cyclists and to inject respect into the altercation. I negotiate for a living. I've successfully resolved hundreds of cases with insurance companies through trial, but one of maybe the most satisfying negotiation I ever was engaged in occurred on a Thursday night ride here in Atlanta. It was a hot summer night. There were about 80 of us doing the pizza ride out near Avondale Pizza Cafe. And there was a car riding behind us, slamming his horn, honking over and over, clearly irate. For some reason, I felt compelled to drop back, pull up next to the car. He had his window rolled down. And I said, "Excuse me, sir. I understand that we're in your way. We're out here once a week. And we appreciate you being patient with us, and we'll be out of your way in just a few minutes." And it sounds like I might have been condescending, patronizing. It wasn't. I was actually being respectful towards him. And the response was incredible. He said, "I'm sorry. Have a nice night." He might even have said, "God bless," I don't remember. But what he didn't do was honk anymore. He was patient. We were out of his way in a little while, and we all went on with our days. Now, I've certainly been in this situation where I did not respond with that kind of respect. But you have to think about what you're trying to do when you're in that kind of altercation. Do you want to escalate it? Do you want to win? Or do you want to set a good example for cyclists and make the roads safer? Because sometimes, and I've represented clients that have been intentionally hit by motorists without any previous altercation. But maybe it was that previous cyclist that had flipped them off, yelled at them, got in their way, that had created this kind of hostility. We'll never know. All we can do is try to set a good example. So when you feel like you've been endangered by a car, try to be respectful. If there's going to be any engagement, be respectful. Don't escalate, de-escalate, stop the downward spiral. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions about this issue or anything else related to cycling and legal cases, please call me at 404-892-0011.